Hello, everyone. I'm Fiery Diva, and welcome to the Hot Flash Room. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to talk about. Yes, yes, yes. So much for the Diva to talk about. Okay, for those who are just now entering into the Hot Flash Room, the Hot Flash Room is like a hot flash. It only lasts for a few minutes and then suddenly it goes away. So again, welcome to the Hot Flash Room. I am the Fiery Diva. Okay, today's commentary. Why did Joe Biden choose Kamala Harris? Have you guys ever thought about that? Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about it. Just, speak on my point of view. And some can agree to disagree. And that's fine, okay? We all have the same agenda, all right? Okay, but you all know it's all about the clips. So if you'll just hold on 1 second for me, I'll go right into that, okay?
What? Well, guess what? They're trying to push me out of the race. Well, let me say it as clear as I can. I'm staying in the race. I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020.
Okay, let's move on. Hang on. It's another clip, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with me here.
Former President Barack Obama has gone from giving Joe Biden a helping hand at a recent fundraiser to now reportedly steering him towards the exit, privately saying Biden has little chance of victory and needs to seriously consider his candidacy, according to the Washington Post. Losing Obama's support could prove politically fatal. The man he served under and has described as a brother.
It was 8.5 years ago that I chose Joe to be my vice president. There has not been a single moment since that time that I've doubted the wisdom of that decision.
Before retreating with COVID, Joe Biden recorded a radio interview.
I was smart enough to know, with age comes wisdom. I know the difference between the truth and lies. I know the difference between good and bad. I know the difference between what has to be done.
But the list of defectors keeps growing. The extremely influential former speaker, the leading Democrat in the Senate, an A-list fundraiser, and now the former president. With Biden sick, his deputy and potential successor led campaigning.
You cannot claim you stand for unity if you are pushing an agenda that deprives whole groups of Americans of basic freedoms, opportunity, and dignity. So, friends, I say the contrast between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is like night and day.
Officially, the White House maintains the line Biden has every expectation of continuing in this race. But as long-term allies desert him publicly and privately, there's a growing sense of momentum and inevitability that a different candidate will face Donald Trump at this year's election. Carrington.
The president facing the loudest calls yet to drop out of the race. We're close to the end, one person close to the president telling NBC News. Another person who spoke to a senior campaign official saying they're finally realizing it's a win, not if.
I think the president will do what he's always done, which is put the best interests of the country first.
The anxiety among Democrats reaching the top of the party. Two sources familiar with his thinking tell NBC News former President Obama has concerns about President Biden's ability to stay at the top of the ticket, but feels personally protective of him. One source saying Obama sees President Biden's path to winning is getting harder. Overnight, Montana Senator John Tester, locked in a tight re-election campaign, became the 22nd Democratic lawmaker to publicly call for the president to leave the race. Key Democrat Jamie Raskin writing a letter to the president, urging him to reconsider his run, comparing him to a tired major league pitcher, but not explicitly telling him to drop out of the race. Still, another key Democrat, Jim Clyburn, is sticking with him.
That I'm riding with Biden, and that's not going to change. What would it take for me to change my mind? It would take him changing his.
Publicly, the White House and the Biden campaign are aggressively pushing back. A source close to the president telling NBC News in 2015, Obama, Pelosi, Schumer pushed Biden aside in favor of Hillary. They were wrong then, and they are wrong now. Video interview conducted right before the president tested positive for COVID, his cough evident as he addresses public questions about his age.
Well, what happened 84 years ago? That's what happened when he's 85 years old. I was smart enough to know with age comes wisdom.
Running mate temporarily.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get down to business here. Enough of the clips, all right? Enough already. Okay, they were saying that in one of those clips, they were saying, you know, he was going to be losing some. They're afraid of losing some of Obama supporters. First of all, how many Obama supporters are there? I mean, maybe I'm missing the mark here, and I could be wrong. I'm just speaking from the South, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from the South. But I can tell you right now, from where I'm from, Obama hasn't even came up in the conversation, not even point of discussion, let alone followers, okay? Now, let's just get down to business here. Let's talk about the real deal and what's going on, because we're ignoring the elephant in the room. Okay, the top Democrats, you know, those people, they work behind closed doors, right? I wish I could run up on that clip with Pelosi. It was a black reporter, a black journalist that was trying to get Pelosi to talk to her about the president's condition and her thoughts. And boy, Pelosi had a few words for her. Okay, Pelosi wasn't even interested. She wasn't interested in the black vote then, was she? Okay, well, let's move right along here, like I was saying. Okay, first of all, why did Joe Biden choose Kamala Harris as his VP running mate, right? That's a good question, and I got the answer, and I got my opinion. You may not like it, but I'm going to tell you what it is. It was the black elite that was saying, well, I won't vote unless, you know, he chooses a black female for his VP. And I think, and you had white women coming out, well, I think it would be good if he chose an African-American female. Okay, now let me tell you how far it took him. Just like this clip. See, it backfired on him, ladies and gentlemen. It backfired. Because now this man is sick, whether you want to believe it or not. But, I mean, yes, he's an elderly man, but he's sick also. So now what they're not really telling you, they don't really want to say, is they want Kamala to drop out as well. Because they know, including them, because let's not forget who started the Democratic Party. Okay, that's a commentary for another day. They're not even going to vote for Kamala. They don't want Kamala in there either. And they know their constituents are not going to vote for her. So that's why they want Joe Biden to drop out the race. Okay, and yes, Kamala will step up. I'm sure that's the way she would like for it to happen, but they're not going to have that, because if he drops out, then you can bet the pressure is going to be on Kamala to step aside as well, and that's going to come from the top Democrats. And see, Joe Biden, he didn't want Kamala Harris. Do you remember the debate that they had? I'll never forget that. The way that woman, the way that's just a Southern dialect, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the Southern dialect right now. We said that girl, that boy, and all that kind of stuff. That woman was talking all kind of trash to Joe Biden. Sure was. She was calling him a racist and all kinds of stuff, okay? And that wasn't his choice. He didn't want her, but it was pressure. And so now, again, this has backfired. So now I'm just curious to see what's going to happen now. Because, I mean, the Democrats are against the wall. And I have another commentary for another day. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of the black Dems has jumped ship. Because I remember I just talked to my mom the other day. You know, my mom, dad, you know the deal. From the South, you know, baby boomers. Back then, when, you know, of course, the Dems was for, quote unquote, the working poor. And that's the one thing, as soon as we turn 18, Daddy told us to go up there to that post office and you registered to vote. Back then, you went to the post office and registered to vote. I don't know how it is now because it's been so long. But that was the thing. And he said, always do straight ticket. Always do straight ticket. Do straight Democrats. They're for the working people. Okay? And I had to talk to my mom. I talked to my mom. Yes, back then it was. But now it's a whole new agenda. Black people are not even on the radar. Not when it comes to Dems. And we have been very, very loyal to the Democratic Party. But it's not that now. And they got a reason. They have a very good reason to get nervous. Now, I'm not ready to talk about the RNC right now because I need to watch the entirety. Now, I admit, I was a little tired, so I did watch some, but I did doze off, and they said it was pretty long, but I did catch some things, and so I do want to go back, and I do want to watch the entirety before I actually comment on it. But I did want to talk with my parents and talk to all of my family and friends, you know, just talking to different people, you know, that has been on the Democratic plantation all this time. And you know, and let me just say this, let me say this. I'm talking nationally now, because yes, you have some local Dems that I like, and you know, if I were in their district or whatever, I would certainly vote for them because they are for the people and they have done a lot for African Americans and the African American community. So let me just say that now. So don't just oust Democrats completely, because I have not. Again, you know, on a local level, I would consider, you know, if that person has the same, you know, I guess the same mindset, you know, they have the same goals as I do, because that's what it's all about, the same agenda. You know, if they share the same agenda as far as helping local people here in our community, and of course, helping out Black grassroots leaders like myself, if they're with that, then of course. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Fiery Diva, and this is the Hot Flash Room. And there's nothing hotter than a hot flash.